How you guys doing? My name is Micah David. I am a filmmaker and photographer, and today I wanted to talk about something special that came out, I think like 2 weeks ago actually. I'm pretty late, but I still wanted to make a video on this. So this one is kind of special because its predecessor is C70, and also with the recent release of the C400 in the C80, we'll see that it gets, something from both parents, the C70 and the C400. That's why I would like to say that this one is very special. And especially, let alone like the C400 is already really good, but we'll get on that in another video. Today is gonna be strictly about the C80. Well, not too strictly, we're gonna lean outside of the C80 here and there, but you'll see why. So during this video, while I say all of these features, specs, and this, I want you to keep in mind that the C80 only comes at $5,500. That's good. That's really good. I think it's really good price, competitive, considering like how many cameras are inside this price range lately, especially with Red with that huge price cut with the Komodo X, I'm pretty sure it was with. I think it's a fair price. Okay, first I want to get into the features and the specs of the C80. To start off, the C80 features a full frame sensor. Not only just a full frame sensor, but a full frame backside illuminated sensor, BSI sensor. So for those of you who don't know what a stacked sensor is for, it's quite literally two sensors stacked together. And it's like that because the first sensor has all these jobs to do. It can delegate 1 or 2 or 3 of those jobs to the other sensor. So essentially, we can get more work going, more efficiency and more effectiveness going on in the camera. So the result of this stacked sensor is in the C80, we get more megapixels as well. If we look at the difference from the C70 to the C80, the C70 only has 9.6 actual megapixels. The effective one is only 8.85. The C80 has 26.67 megapixels. That's the actual amount of megapixels, but the only ones that are effective is like 19 megapixels. So we see the large jump. And what this means, the amount of megapixels, what that means for video is the sharpness. We get more sharpness and kind of some detail in our image. Yes, we still get that 4K, the 6K, but with those, we get more sharpness and more detail with those megapixels. Or when we're ready to crop in, we can crop in and still retain some good quality there and don't have to worry about too much pixelization. I think things like megapixels are something that people don't really know they need until they have it. And I think people won't notice it until it really comes in play. So if we're going based off of numbers, then the C80 is more sharper with the megapixels and everything. Now this sensor on the C80 is a full frame sensor. Right? Are you ready to hear that? Or like, it's gonna have better low light performance and up to 16 stops of dynamic range. I think it's really like a breath of fresh air because the C70 was already a really good camera, but it was Super 35. So now when it comes to the C80 with the full frame, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like, we needed that. That's all we needed to finish it off. The cherry on top, full frame. So for those of you who don't know, I'll take a reference from my old video on lenses. We have 3 main types of camera sensors. You have full frame, APS-C or crop sensor, and MFT, micro four thirds. A Super 35 sensor is like smaller than a full frame. So with that being said, a full frame sensor is able to fit more photo sites or information on there, which means we get naturally better low light performance or depth of field, and we also get full focal length on lenses that are at least full frame. And like Canon is like bragging, we even get a Super 35 mode on the C80. It's like, oh, and we get the Super 35, like we get like 2 cameras in one. So you can even use those Super 35 lenses on your C80 as well. I don't have to zoom in whenever I'm trying to use a Super 35 lens. So the ISO range on the C80 is of course larger. The extended ISO range on the C70 is the ISO range on the C80, the normal ISO range. Now the thing is that the C70 was always said to be good in low light, have good low light performance. Now we get that 3 times, like times 3 in the C80 with like the C70 low light performance, the triple base ISO, the 800, 3200, and 12,800, right? And we get that full frame sensor now, times 3 low light performance, so yeah. Yeah, feeling good. So the thing I want to mention about the triple base ISO, right, is that you have 800, you have 3200, and you have 12,800. Now, thank you to Autorama for putting this information out, but Canon, somebody from Canon, I think, told Autorama team is that if you use an ISO that's below your base ISO, then you'll actually get a cleaner image and like better noise reduction. So if you're at 12,800 ISO, but you set it back lower, then you'll get a better image. From all these things, we can see more and more how the C70 is going to be good for a run and gun camera, run and gun for like documentaries. You're gonna need to get some footage of their everyday life. You know, maybe not all the time it's gonna be in the day. Maybe it's a nighttime thing they're working on. So you need to be prepared for that. And not to mention its compact body size. We'll get to all that in a second. Okay, so here are the things when it comes to image quality in the C80. Okay, anyways. So what's the tippity top? What's the maximum of the C80? Well, the C80 can record 6K 30 FPS in 12-bit raw light. Ooh, we knew it was coming, the raw light. Oh, they're like, hey, we need to save some of the features for the full thing, right? For the full version, if you want the full version, the C400, yeah, you're gonna have to buy that one. Nevertheless, we're still providing that high data quality footage. And so for those of you who don't know what RAW is, so whenever you record something in a format other than RAW, your footage is getting compressed in different ways to try to fit in your package. But with RAW, your footage is not getting compressed that much. It's just giving you the information as it is. Now you have raw light, you have raw, and you have raw high quality. Of course, the more higher you go, the more you can do with it. But hey, let's back it up here. Yeah, we get raw light, but we also get 12-bit. Yeah, 12-bit, yeah. Guys. But I think there is a reason why they have raw light only, and I think it's because of the storage, because we just have dual SD card slots, right? We don't have CFast Express, Type B at least. We only have dual SD cards, UHS 2. At least you're getting some type of raw. Like I said, if you want to get the full version. So now the C300 has that improved autofocus. And the C300 was so kind to bestow that upon the C80. So now we have the C300's autofocus system, which covers the 100% of the frame, enhancing subject detection and focus transitions, like focus wrecking, stuff like that. We have an improved monitor. It's more sturdy. It even has a locking mechanism because it'll fall out a lot of times, and it'll also be kind of loose, and it's also brighter. Yeah, something new on the body that we have is an Ethernet port. Yeah, we have a redesigned rear joystick for easier operation. The C80 does offer a SDI output, so you can feed some signal to other monitors as well. We also have a hot shoe capability now. So now when we hook something up to the top of the C80, we can actually, connect stuff to it, like some XLR cables to run some channels there or something. I believe that the C70 didn't have that. I believe it only had like a code shoe, meaning it didn't have anything on it. It wasn't able to electronically connect anything to the C70. I could be wrong, let me know. Now we do have new batteries in the Canon C80. We have the BP A3N batteries, but good news that it is interchangeable with the C70's batteries as well. I really think on the C80 they fixed some things from the C70 a little bit and just added a bit more. Okay, now let's get on to the cons about the C80. Some of the things that I don't really like. So number one, I want to talk about the limited RAW options. You can't really say, you can and you can't say. You can say it's a con, but it's like you're not really being realistic, right? Because you might as well just be like, oh, I wish this thing had 16-bit on it, 20 stops of dynamic range. You can say it has everything in the world. It's not realistic. You have to consider the price range of this thing, where this camera stands in the whole lineup. And another con about the C80 is its lack of anamorphic support. It doesn't have any D-squeeze options, so it may be hard for you to see when you're working with anamorphic lens. But if you're working with anamorphic lenses, you'll probably have enough budget to afford a monitor. You should, I believe. So you can always de-squeeze on the monitor. If you guys have any other cons, let me know down in the comments what you guys think is a con. No, I don't like this about the C80 or this or this or this. Now, finally, I want to compare the C80 to the FX6, right? Because I've heard that the C80 is being compared to the FX6 a lot. Is it justifiable to switch from the FX6 to the C80? I think I'll wait to give my opinion on that after. So first off, the C80 and FX6, like I said before, is priced around the same price range. Now, the C80 does offer internal RAW of some kind than the FX6. If you record externally, you can get some crazy raw 16-bit. I haven't heard too much about it. I haven't heard too much if it's really good or not. I think it may be really good though, especially for those projects, those really professional projects that you want to show off your best. You know, that can come in handy, the raw 16-bit. FX6 has that SDI, but it also has things like time code, you know, so you can jam in the time code, and 2 full XLRs. C80 doesn't have that. But, you know, when it comes to channels, audio channels like that, that's when the hot shoe capability will come in on the C80. Now the FX6 is like so good and known for its autofocus. Its autofocus is great, and along with its E-mount camera lenses, the C80 is known to have pretty good autofocus as well. But when it comes to lenses, the RF lenses are pretty pricey, and it's pretty limited out there when it's compared to the E-mount lenses. And the FX6 can shoot up to DCI 4K 60 FPS and UHD 4K 120 FPS. Now the C80, when it comes to resolution and DCI UHD, the 6K that the C80 does is UHD, so right? UHD 12-bit RAW. So the difference from DCI and UHD is that DCI is something like digital cinema industry. Let's look at 4K, right? UHD, ultra high definition, would be 3840 by 2160 pixels. DCI would be 4096 by 2160. So with DCI, you're really kind of getting more of the actual full quality. You know, instead you'll actually be getting 4K instead of like the technically 4K in UHD. Recently, Blackmagic RAW has been implemented in a recent update in the FX6 and the FX9. I'm not too sure how much that comes into play actually. I know it's Blackmagic, it's B-RAW, it's great and everything, but you know, will that make people gravitate more towards the FX6? Now begs the question, do I think people will switch from the FX6 to the C80? No, I don't really think so. Like I said, I do think when people are coming in the price range, the C80 is something they'll be looking at, and probably also the FX6 is something they'll probably be looking at. The C80 has its features. Oh yeah, the C80 has this, and but yeah, it does this. That's exactly how I feel with the C80. The FX6 has been like a huge hit for a lot of people, and I think it may still continue to be. But then again, who knows what updates can come to the C80? What firmware updates can come to the C80, and it's also a newer camera. But then again, if we want people to get the full version, why would we give too much to the light version? Because then we'll have no reason to switch over to the C400. Yeah, just my take on that. Now, when it comes to improvement from the C80 over from the C70, whether it's a game changer or just a mild improvement, I think the C80 is a game changer from the C70. I think a lot of people really wanted that full frame, you know, that last cherry on top. I love the cherries. When I go into Jack in the Box and ask for a shake, the cherry is probably my favorite part. I would probably prefer the cherry and the whipped cream over the whole shake. But having a bigger sensor brings a lot of other upgrades along with it. A lot of people have reasons why the Super 35 is better or how the full frame is better, right? But look at this. The C80, you get both, Super 35 and full frame. C70, you just get, you know, Super 35. So, do I think it's reasonable, it's justifiable for people to go to C70 to C80? Definitely. Yes, I think that's justifiable. I mean, considering if you paid off your C70 already, yeah, sure. If you didn't, maybe you should wait it out. You know, we don't want anything getting out of control here, right? But that is all on the Canon C70. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and kind of my take on it and my opinions. I really want to try to include my opinions more and more so you guys can know my side of things. And I will also love to hear some stuff of what you guys have to say and your takes, your opinions, what you think about the C80, C70, C400, FX6, and all these things. Make sure you go check out my other videos. Love you guys. Thank you for watching this video and hope to see you in the next one. Bye. When you're looking at somebody, when you're looking at something, when you're looking at